Hello, my friends. Thank you for joining in. I want to first do a little introduction to how I came about this theme. Those of you who have been listening to me for a while and have just been listening to everything that's going on within us and all around us, there's quite an opportunity to meet unresolved trauma and to explore what our trauma responses are. Now, everybody has some degree of trauma, and this is never a bad thing. That doesn't say anything about anybody. It's a fact of life. And some of us are very fortunate to be able to develop skill and attain resources to attend to our trauma response. So trauma is something that is added on top of who we already are. And what we are, all of us are born out of love, awareness, the love that is within and all around us. And sometimes this has been covered over, never wounded, but what is covering it in the way of experience that hasn't had an opportunity to be digested in a way that we can be nourished by the love we are, then life can be very tricky. And when this attending to experience that is suppressed still in the body, and not even from our lives, but from our ancestors, those who have gone before us, what we carry in our genes, what we pick up from the environments that we live in, the different forms of conditioning. So let's just say that trauma, I've said this many times, is an experience that happens. You could define it many ways. I'll define it like this for now, that it's an experience that happens to us that we're not prepared for, and therefore we're not able to digest it. And therefore, what we are is not able to nourish us and allow this continuous experience of life to bloom from what we are, essentially. So this came to me because I discovered in my own experience, when so much is happening with COVID-19 and Black Lives Matter, and as you know, I have children who experience birth trauma. So I have a lot of experience working very closely on a day-to-day basis for 23 years with trauma response and how it lives and shows up in the body. So from that experience and what's been going on for all of us, for some people much more, and my heart goes to you. But I discovered that there was an orphaned place inside of myself that I had truly disconnected from. And that was triggered not that long ago. And I'm on the other side of that, you could say, or I've been able to allow that to have the space that was necessary for it to unpack itself. And now I'm in a place of being informed by it. And I want to say Prajna has returned. She didn't really wear like the Prajna that I am, referring to love, wisdom, heart wisdom, that's always been here, is now just much more accessible, available. And I feel very empowered and very grateful for this experience and how it's integrating itself. So I'm calling this embodied blooming because I want to give you some tips and some keys, some pointers to support you in your process. And I was with a good friend yesterday, and we were having a very in-depth conversation in a 2-hour walk about these kinds of topics. And you can take this topic in many directions. So I'll just point at one direction. She was asking me many questions about how to support people when their trauma response is triggered. So essentially for me, I am a very experiential learner, and I work directly with whatever I meet. So we can't understand trauma through our minds. As much as we have a conversation about it and an understanding, it lives in the body and in the nervous system. So we have to address the nervous system. We have to come into our bodies. We are embodied. We live in a body. We've been born into a body. All of our experiences happen to us within a body. So the body is key. And the point in that is, it doesn't really, you don't need to come to a place of understanding. And we can know when we're getting in that headspace is because we may kind of get in a loop of should not, could have done something different, or somebody could have or should have. We start to get into the realm of doubt and questioning and blame, and really trying to figure it out and fix it, in a sense, through thinking, through the mechanics of the mind. Well, let me just tell you this, friends, that will go on forever. It doesn't get sorted out. Mind. At a certain point, it's nice to be able to have a conversation, because sometimes trauma can live in certain people's bodies in such a big way that being able to be with another person that you feel safe with is a wonderful way to begin, to start to unpack the story of it. And I never negate a story. Story is always welcome. Stories have been passed on to us from generation to generation to generation. Like, really, I think the truth of life and wisdom comes and is passed down to us through story. So there's great nourishment in story. The story that doesn't support us is the one that loops in our heads. Yeah? So there's a difference. But the idea of being able to meet with another is that can begin to instill within us a sense of safety. So coming out of the head and being able to feel safe in our own bodies, to really come to a grounded anchoring in the body. Now, this is where meditation can be helpful, but for some people, meditation is not helpful. And if you go to my website, awakeningprajna.com, I have a gift there, which is called 5 Keys to Thriving Amidst Adversity. And these are, step-by-step points that you could have it kind of outlined like a book with some great images. And that can give you some steps for, one way. There's so many ways. We're all so unique and what serves us. So somebody might need to, like, I have a trampoline, a little mini trampoline now in the place where I work, my little office. I call it my happy house. And when I'm, too long on the computer, which lately has been too much, I will make myself take a break and jump on a trampoline. So for some people, we need to get out into nature, maybe run, sing, dance, get the energy, get some of that energy in the body moving. And then the possibility to sit and anchor in the body becomes available. So we figure that out for ourselves. And I know that I'm not speaking to beginners here. So sometimes these are just good reminders. And if you listen to the meditation last week, I spoke about meditation not being a time for containment. It's really a time to come out of containment. So not to put that kind of pressure on yourself, where meditation is about coming into a particular posture where you hold yourself in a rigid way. No, let yourself be loose. Let yourself just move around, get comfortable, and come into the body. So those are two keys. And then when trauma is met, and I had the opportunity to have this experience, so it's fresh for me, and I'm so happy about that. But there will be a time of disorientation. You know, you're disoriented because there's something that has been orphaned or suppressed in the system. And this happens because we're so intelligent. Our systems, our bodies are so intelligent. Even the unconscious is intelligent. There's such wisdom that it will suppress something and keep it out of view until there is a time where we can really be there for that part. So the system is organized, you know, with this part not being in view, suppressed. So when it opens up, there will be a time of orientation because something is being introduced into the system that has been unconscious, that has been disconnected from, that has not been part of your embodied experience. It hasn't been integrated. It hasn't been transmuted or transformed, whatever it is that it needs. So I was very disoriented for a bit, not really too long, but I was okay with that because we are awareness, like I said in the beginning, the love, the presence that we are, no matter what is happening in our internal experience, doesn't go anywhere. So if we can remember that there's always the backward step, allowing yourself to step back into love, as awareness. So awareness is able to hold all that is happening within you. So this new piece of information that's been triggered and is perhaps ready to unleash itself, then there's disorientation and the body may shake. It may shake a great deal. There may be periods of unrest where you can't sleep. The dream life might get very active where memories are being shown. So we need to remember that love doesn't go anywhere, that you're being held. Awareness is always here. And if the memories that are being shown are disturbing, and they probably are, that they're memories. They're not happening now. And this is your system detoxifying itself. So you just let that move out. So there's a detoxification, there's an emptying out that is happening. And this can be going on for many hours throughout the day, throughout the week, however long it takes. And we're always coming back to this backward step, stepping into love, the awareness of love, being held by love, and grounding in the body. And the trauma will resolve. It will resolve in this holding. And there are times when we need someone to support us through this because safety is key. So safety is key. Memories that might be being shown to us are from us. They're not happening now, that you are safe. And it's time for this to open, to clean itself out, and for the nervous system to be able to come to a place of calm and rest so it can be nourished once again. And you'll find that in this nourishing, that there is a blooming that happens. It's like something has emptied, has left. There's more space in you, and you can feel that expanded sense of who you actually are. It's not even a sense, it's an ability. expanding in all directions from a grounded anchoredness in the body. So if this is possible for me, it's possible for each and every one of us, for all of you. And I'm available to assist in this. I've worked with trauma now for many years, and I'm not a head person. I'm a direct experience person because I've learned that it's much better to be headless. So to really be in the body, everything is happening in the body. The mind is good for many things, but it doesn't naturally support us in resolving trauma, resolving past issues that may still be living within us. So I think I said enough about that. If you ever have any questions, feel free to send them to me, because that helps me to really fill a topic out. And I will be getting onto a regular schedule again since Prajna is here. So I want to take you on a guided meditation. And just let your body breathe. You can have your eyes opened or your eyes closed. What's important is for you to feel comfortable. And people who have trauma, you want to kind of check out your environment, and just check and listen. So you're maybe looking with your eyes, but you're feeling with your body. To register your level of comfort in your body. Turn off any distractions around you so that this is a time for your nervous system, for your body, for your heart, for your being to be deeply nourished. So let your body feel that invitation of nourishment, to receive nourishment. So meditation, as I'm going to guide you today, is posturing in a spaciousness of receptivity. First, we're receiving our breath in the body. And it's not difficult to let that happen. Just let it be easy, where you can breathe and feel your breath moving all the way down the legs to the feet. And sense there's a natural lining up of the spine. It just naturally creates more space as you breathe between the vertebrae, lengthening, feeling the torso expand, welcoming everything to be here, all sensations, all energies. So when we're in a spaciousness of receptivity, we're not pushing anything away. We're not asking anything to be different. Like I can hear and feel in the environment that I'm in that there are the sounds of birds singing, chirping, and there's also a neighbor who is doing some construction, pounding. But notice in your body that it doesn't have a preference. The body of you, the being of you, doesn't prefer the bird over the hammer. Listen and feel that all is welcome. Both can be happening. Whereas we may define one as a disturbing noise and the other as music that is welcome. That defining happens in the mind. And any way that we define something can create a resistance, which you could feel as soon as something is resisted, there's a constriction. So letting everything be here, not an either or, not a better or a worse, not a right or a wrong. All is welcome. Letting the spaciousness of the heart, the field of the heart, just noticing how the heart is for you. Wherever you are, whatever sensations are here, welcome. In the same way that I did with the bird and the hammer. So not defining, not interpreting, one to be right and the other not to be right. So we're not evaluating anything in our experience ever. All is welcome. Let it be simple. The mind can complicate. But there's a great simplicity here as you are. Effortless spaciousness. Remembering as the body is allowed to feel, sense, be exactly as it is. There may be sounds. There may be energy that moves. Let that happen. Let yourself be uncontained, while at the same time you're held in a bubble of safety, of love, of awareness, the spaciousness that is always here, doesn't go anywhere. And you can feel your legs, the base of your body, anchored to the ground. So the entirety of your body is included with its connection to the ground of you in your body and beneath your body. You can call this the ground of Mother of earth, the ground of being, the support, the ground of nature, the aliveness of nature. These are all words, but let yourself experience directly what is happening in the base of your body as you just sense and feel. Perhaps you can feel that simultaneously there's a warm, gentle calm, and there's also an energy, an energetic blooming. I like to call it like an energy that bubbles and blooms, is moving. So there's a deep calm that feels quite still, and there's the pulse of life, both happening simultaneously, movement and repose. Retreating and living all at once. Resting and receiving. So there's an energetic engagement with the energy of life that is quite natural to us. As we allow this deep, calm rest at the base, at the ground, and here the nervous system is able to receive nourishment. So something may be emptying out, moving energetically, and at the same time, in this spaciousness of receptivity, the nervous system is receiving nourishment. And it feels good, feels enlivening, strengthening. Let yourself have all of it, all of it, all of you, without an evaluation, without a need to understand what is happening. Simply knowing that you are safe in a wide, spacious container a holding in love, a holding in consciousness, a holding in awareness that has no boundary, while your physical body does. So here you can feel the edges of your physical body and how it makes contact with the earth beneath you, with how the skin feels against your clothing, with how one hand may touch another hand or a leg or your belly or your heart. And let yourself do that for a moment, where one hand is on the heart and another hand is on the belly. Feeling the contact, body to body. And this may offer an additional feeling of nourishment, of support, of contact, body to body. Even though it's your body, body is being touched, is feeling the physical holding of a hand. And the nervous system calms even more. Another piece of nourishment just got in. Let that happen. And let your hands come slowly off the heart and the belly and just place them there on your lap. So they're making contact with some part of one leg and another leg. And if you have a differently abled body, you go ahead and accommodate in a way that feels just right for you. And as the hand is placed on the lower part of the body, feel how that offers a deeper sinking in the ground, this connection to the earth, this holding in the base. Notice the difference as body contacts body, how the body loves contact, to be held, to feel its boundary, to feel its skin against the clothing, to feel the feet, the base on the ground, whether it be a chair you're sitting on or the ground or the bed or something else. So this capacity that we have to be in a body, this great gift, is meant to be cherished. The body is here for us as a vehicle to care for, to attend to. Let this be new, familiar. Each time you settle in your body, the nervous system is getting more information, new information, as you are evolving constantly on a day-to-day basis. The essence of you, in one sense, is always the same, and the expression of you is forever evolving. So here you let the body receive all of itself. This is to be embodied. This is to honor the gift. We are in a body. That allows every part of who we are to be met in the body directly. It doesn't happen through the space of the mind. Now notice how you feel in your body now, and anything that may be different in sensation or energy, spaciousness. If something inside of you contracted, that's always all right. Let that be all right. Then we can just notice if we've gone into thinking, evaluation, interpretation, conclusion, trying to understand, figure something out, fix something. You just notice that, and then again, that backward step into the body that is held in the spaciousness of love. Awareness, deep, deep care. And then each time the nervous system can relax a little bit more, get some more information, some more nourishment to calm. And with every experience of calming, you may notice there's a simultaneous experience of landing, of movement, of blooming. So resting and blooming all at once. Let it happen. Let yourself rest and bloom all at once. Let yourself empty and receive nourishment all at once. Because what you are is undivided. There isn't an either or. There isn't a right or a wrong. And if you're noticing that is happening, you may have gone upstairs and it's time to descend down and in, stepping back into the love that is always here. So lovely. I just want to say that here in the nervous system is key, and it's connected to the vagus nerve. So I'm just going to give you this one little thing, if you can look at me for a minute. Taking the two fingers, the pads of the fingers here at the tip. And the vagus nerve is right here. It's right where there's that little indent just before you settle your eyes. So if you feel yourself triggered, this is a very simple thing that you can do. Just rest the pads of your fingers. You're not pushing, but you're just allowing the weight of the fingers to sink. Right there, that's the vagus nerve. And it's like the heart of the nervous system. It spreads out in all directions, and it connects to the reptilian brain. And that's as much information as I'm going to give. So just let yourself feel that upon immediate contact, there's a calming. So it's a good little tip to have that you can use at any time. And it helps us to move out of mind and into body. I learned this a very long time ago. Something that I learned, I have taken a lot of training in brain therapy and working with trauma, varying degrees, because my daughters had tremendous birth trauma. So I have a lot of little tips, and sometimes I forget to use them, but there's one, and I hope you find it beneficial.